Most people see NFL players as people who are living life to the fullest. This trail of thought isn't wrong, as even most players think they can live however they want. They tend to forget that their newly found wealth isn't limitless and can run out if they aren't careful. This athlete was among the best of the best, but his terrible spending habits made him lose everything. This player even talks about how he wasn't smart enough to make the right decisions. Now, we're going to examine how these athletes went from riches to being broke. Travis Henry. This professional football player was on top of the NFL at some point in his career. That's right, Travis Henry played for 7 seasons in the NFL and was drafted by the Buffalo Bills in 2001. He made his debut against the New Orleans Saints, but suffered a 24-6 loss. He spent 3 years with the Buffalo Bills, but demanded to be transferred after being asked to stand as McGahee's backup. Henry moved to the Tennessee Titans and also played for the Denver Broncos in 2007. Now, this former pro player was known for being a father of more than a few children, with more than a few baby mamas. He fathered not less than 11 children with 10 different women, one of whom gave birth to twins. His descent from riches came after his finances were thinned out by all the child support payments he had to make. This event overshadowed his arrest for being involved in a multi-kilogram cocaine transaction that occurred in Centennial, Colorado. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison, but all fines against him were dropped, as the judge was aware of his crippling financial situation. Henry spoke on the matter via telephone while he was under house arrest. "They've got my blood. I've got to deal with it," he said. His lawyer even estimated that he was obligated to pay at least $170,000 per year in child support payments. The next on the list is a player whose injuries began his downward spiral. Chris McAllister. This former NFL cornerback and 3-time Pro Bowler was the Ravens' first-round pick in the 1999 NFL Draft. Chris McAllister played with the Ravens for 10 years, during which time he was on the Ravens' 2001 Super Bowl 35 winning team. The former pro player had what was arguably his best season in 2006, when he had 2 touchdowns and made his 3rd Pro Bowl. This wasn't the case with his last 2 seasons, as he was riddled with injuries that drastically reduced his game time. He was put on injury reserve by the team and had his contract terminated in February 2009. He eventually signed a new contract with the New Orleans Saints, where he received a ring even though he didn't play in their Super Bowl victory over the Indianapolis Colts. Though he signed a $55 million contract in 2004, McAllister claimed to be broke as a joke and living with my parents. This statement came after court documents revealed that he was asking for relief on paying $11,000 per month to his ex-wife for child support, even though they were only married for 13 months. He also stated, "I live in my parents' home. My parents provide me with my basic living expenses as I do not have the funds to do so," and claims, "I have been unemployed since 2009. I have no income." Next, we've got a wide receiver who squandered his wealth in clubs and parties. Andre Ryzen. Born on March 18, 1967, Ryzen was a professional footballer who played as a wide receiver in the National Football League. He starred in several teams, including the Indianapolis Colts, Atlanta Falcons, Green Bay Packers, and Oakland Raiders. His dominant performance didn't stop in the NFL, as it also extended into the Canadian Football League, where he played for the Toronto Argonauts. Ryzen was selected to the Pro Bowl 5 times between 1990 to 1993, and once again in 1997. He spent 12 years in the NFL, where he is said to have earned $19 million. Despite these earnings, he filed for bankruptcy in 2007. He would explain the factors that led him to lose so much money, one of the major ones being that he spent $1 million on jewelry. "We were going to new levels," Ryzen said. "We were making it snow. You start throwing $100 bills instead of 5s, so you've got a competition going on now," he added. He also talked about how much cash he would be carrying around at a time. "I'd be lying on the bed knocked out with $10,000 lying on the floor. I've got another $5,000 in my pocket. You might find another $7,500 in the pocket in my coat." It's no surprise that he filed for bankruptcy after living such a financially carefree lifestyle. The same can't be said for the next person, as he was just an unfortunate victim of a scam. Adrian Peterson. Born in Palestine, Texas, Peterson played as a professional running back in the NFL. He also received numerous awards, including NFL Most Valuable Player, NFL Offensive Player of the Year, NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, and said to be just shy of $103 million. Peterson took out a loan of $5.2 million in a bid to use it to finance a project. However, it has since ballooned to more than twice its original value due to interests and fees. A Texas court has ordered him to turn over personal assets to assist in paying off this debt. This debt debt didn't just come overnight, as some say he was a victim of a massive fraud. The intended project was co-owned by Peterson, Jeff Wiseman, his then financial advisor, and another partner. Being the majority owner, Peterson was made the sole guarantor of the debt. These co-partners have allegedly not commented on the situation, leaving the former pro player to suffer the burden himself. Poor business decisions have led to a lot of financial setbacks, and this next player is a living witness. Charlie Batch. This former NBA professional player is most popularly known by Pittsburgh Steelers fans as a great person. Batch is considered a pretty decent backup quarterback and is also known for a lot of charitable work he has done in the Pittsburgh community, especially in his hometown of Homestead. Making his professional football debut in 1998, he played for the Detroit Lions for 3 years before moving to the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he stayed for the next decade. He was initially signed by the Steelers for just a year and didn't play during that year. His contract was, however, extended, and he began seeing some action on the field. In 2013, the Steelers announced that Batch would not be returning to the team for the next season, and that brought an end to his career. Unfortunately for the quarterback, news broke out that a federal bankruptcy judge is allowing Prime Rock Real Estate Fund, which he owed $820,000, to continue its legal pursuit of what he used as collateral to obtain a loan in November 2009. He officially filed for bankruptcy a month later and claimed to own only assets worth $2.3 million while owing $8.29 million worth of liabilities. This is a result of a poor business decision, and the quarterback is left to suffer the consequences. Next, we have someone who got bored by the idea of business and got punished for this. Ragib Ismile. This former pro football player was born on November 18, 1969, and played as a wide receiver. Popularly known as Rocket, his college career was marked by him playing for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish before moving to the Canadian Football League. He moved to the NFL shortly after and spent 8 years in the league. While in the NFL, Ismile played for the Los Angeles Oakland Raiders, Carolina Panthers, and Dallas Cowboys. While at the Carolina Panthers, he had a breakout year and registered 69 receptions for 10,024 yards and 8 touchdowns. He was 2 yards short of doubling his previous career high. He would eventually become a free agent and get signed by the Dallas Cowboys. He soon became the team's leading wide receiver and recorded a career-high 1,097 yards and 6 touchdowns. Ismile amassed a fortune during his time as a professional football player. However, he was also guilty of a common trait that most professional athletes have, and that's poor investment decisions. The wide receiver never hesitated to spend his money on whatever investment idea popped into his head. He also had no knowledge on business and finance, and even stated, "I once had a meeting with JP Morgan, and it was literally like listening to Charlie Brown's teacher," implying that business matters are boring. Ismile never declared bankruptcy, but lost a significant amount of money from his futile business efforts. We're going to digress a little bit and talk about an NBA player who landed himself in a lifetime of debt. Antoine Walker. Former professional NFL player Antoine Devon Walker played as a power forward in his career. He was drafted with the 6th overall pick in the 1996 NBA draft out of the University of Kentucky. His career lasted 12 years, spanning from 1996 to 2008. He played for several teams in his career, including the Boston Celtics, Dallas Mavericks, Atlanta Hawks, and Miami Heat. Walker's career was impressive, as he was a 3-time NBA All-Star. He also won the NBA championship title during his time with the Miami Heat. He made well over $110 million throughout his career, but burnt it all on years of lavish spending. Instead of thinking about his future, he spent his money on cars, jewelry, and homes. "I created a very expensive lifestyle. That's how you lose your wealth real bad at the beginning," Walker said. The NBA star came from humble beginnings and wanted his friends and family to enjoy his newfound riches. He says he helped an estimated 30 people move to better situations by giving them cash without holding them accountable for it. "I gave them whatever they wanted and spoiled them. You can't do that," he said, adding, "It ended up being an open ATM throughout my career." He also had a serious gambling problem, which is rumored to be the major reason why he lost all his money. Some athletes completely forget that debts can pile up and come back at them, and this next player knows this more than anyone. Warren Sapp. This former defensive tackle spent 13 seasons in the NFL, primarily with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Warren Sapp began playing football back in college, where he played for the Miami Hurricanes and won the Lombardi Award, Bronco Nagurski Trophy, and Bill Willis Trophy. During his time at Tampa Bay, he made 7 Pro Bowl appearances, earned first-team All-Pro honors 4 times, and was a part of the team that won Tampa Bay's first Super Bowl title in Super Bowl XXX7. Another thing Sapp was known for was the controversies that shadowed his career. These controversies concerned his hard-hitting style of play and occasional verbal outbursts. He officially retired from the sport on March 4, 2008, and was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2013. His finances suddenly went down the drain as he had a long list of unpaid debts. Sapp owed the Internal Revenue Service $853,000 from income made in 2006 and $89,700 for 2010. He was also $876,000 behind on alimony and child support for his ex-wife. He owed $67,738 for unpaid property taxes, owed money to attorneys, and also owed his friends money. It didn't take long before Sapp filed for bankruptcy to discharge debt from his failed businesses. He also claimed to have lost his Buccaneer Super Bowl ring and his University of Miami championship rings. Next, we've got a defensive tackle who was too proud to ask for help. Luther Ellis. Playing as a defensive tackle in the NFL, Luther John Ellis played for 10 seasons and garnered a lot of attention. He played college football for the Utah Utes and was recognized as an All-American. He was selected in the first round of the 1995 NFL Draft and played professionally for the Detroit Lions and Denver Broncos, with a majority of his career being at the former. The four-time Pro Bowl player played in 134 regular season games and started 119 of them. He even gained the nickname Pass Rush Luther during his time in Detroit. He played his final season in 2004 with the Denver Broncos, where he saw action in only 8 games and registered 2 sacks. Ellis made a substantial amount of money during his time in the NFL. He made over $11 million in salary alone, but later stated that he made well over $20 million in the NFL in total. Some people would call this life-changing money, or even go as far as calling it the beginning of generational wealth, but not Ellis. In 2010, just 6 years after his retirement from professional football, he filed for bankruptcy. His years of bad investment in failing companies and poor financial decisions caught up to him and led to his financial demise. He mentioned the true cause of his financial demise. "A lot of my demise came because of pride. I couldn't admit that I needed help." It's not often you see someone lose a lot of money by loving food, and this next player is one of these rare instances. Vince Young. This professional quarterback played in the NFL for 6 seasons. Vincent Paul Young Jr. was selected by the Tennessee Titans as the 3rd overall pick in the 2006 NFL Draft. He played with the Titans for 5 seasons before transferring to the Philadelphia Eagles for his final season in 2011. His impressive career began when he was still an amateur in college. Young received the Davey O'Brien Award while he was still a junior. This award was given annually to the best college quarterback in the nation. Upon joining the NFL, he was named the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year and was named to the AFC Pro Bowl team as a reserve. He earned his 2nd Pro Bowl selection in 2009 and was named Sporting News NFL Comeback Player of the Year. He eventually left the franchise after his level of pay was reduced and he had less playtime due to minor hand injury. Young's initial contract was said to have gotten him $25 million throughout his career. It came as a surprise when people were informed that he had filed for bankruptcy in 2014. Court documents showed that he listed assets between $500,000 and $1 million alongside debt between $1,000 and $10 million. Some claim that the primary cause of this was his shocking love for the Cheesecake Factory, where he spent several $1,000s weekly. He and his attorney later found documents with forged signatures and investments in projects he didn't know about. Most people think that family members always have good intentions, but this next athlete lost it all for trusting his father. Bernie Kosar. This former professional quarterback made one of the saddest revelations in terms of losing everything he worked for. Bernard Joseph Kosar Jr. spent 11 years as a quarterback in the NFL. He played college football for the Miami Hurricanes and led the team to a national championship in 1983. After this, Kosar played in the NFL for the Cleveland Browns from 1985 to 1993. He spent a season with the Dallas Cowboys before moving to the Miami Dolphins, where he stayed from 1994 to 1996. The Ohio-born player served as a backup quarterback on the 1993 Cowboys team that won the Super Bowl 60 He retired from the sport after spending 2 years with the Miami Dolphins. After amassing a fortune from the NFL, Kosar seemingly spiraled from wealth, as reports stated that he had lost a lot of money. This news was both surprising and unsurprising, as most athletes were fond of extravagantly spending their earnings. It wasn't the same in this case, as Kosar exposed the major setback most athletes have, and that's trusting and feeling an obligation toward family. It was reported that the quarterback's father was siphoning money, using it to pay for mortgages and cars. He later found out that his father had a side deal with the Cleveland Browns worth $1 million. His father served as his financial manager and remained in that position because Kosar hoped to repair their memories and relationship. Next is an athlete who lost his wealth due to his financial manager. Clinton Portis. This professional football player served as a running back in the NFL for 9 seasons. Clinton Earl Portis hails from Laurel, Mississippi, and played college football for the Miami Hurricanes. He considered going to the University of South Carolina, but lost his scholarship due to a fight he had at Gainesville High School. He was selected by the Denver Broncos in the second round of the 2002 NFL Draft and was best known for being the starting running back for the Washington Redskins. His stay at the Denver Broncos lasted only 2 years before he moved to Washington Redskins, where he spent 7 seasons. He officially retired from the sport on August 23, 2012, and cemented his status as 27th all-time in career rushing yards. His financial situation suddenly began dwindling and got worse after he allegedly tried to pay back a casino loan with checks that did not clear. The casino alleged it gave Portis a $170,000 advance, and his checks bounced when he tried to pay back the establishment. He then filed for bankruptcy and showed that he owed an estimated $5 million to various creditors. He goes ahead to blame his financial advisor, Jeff Rubin, stating that he should be in jail. This is the regret, that Jeff Rubin of Pro Sports is the guy behind all of this. No one mentions Jeff Rubin, who's the financial advisor. He should be in jail, he said. We're talking about someone owing a couple $1 million, but this man has run off with $100 million, Portis added. Next on our list is one of the greatest NFL players who sadly landed in a debt he could never finish paying off. Johnny Unitas. This pro football player served as a quarterback and played in the NFL for 18 seasons. Nicknamed the Golden Arm and Johnny U, he primarily played with the Baltimore Colts and featured in the Pittsburgh Steelers and the San Diego Chargers. This machine of a player spent most of his NFL time setting records and was even named Most Valuable Player on 3 separate occasions. Unitas assisted his team in winning 4 championship titles, 3 in the pre-merger era and 1 in the Super Bowl era in Super Bowl V. People often credit him with helping popularize the NFL. He also set the record for most consecutive games with a touchdown pass at 47, which stood for 52 years. It's sad to see such a trailblazer on a list of people who lost it all. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame and made national headlines when he filed for bankruptcy in 1991. He was rather unlucky in terms of his businesses as he bounced from one ill-fated venture to another. He and his 2 partners borrowed $3.5 million to buy National Circuits Inc., but unfortunately went bankrupt. Unitas was unable to pay off this debt before his unfortunate death in 2002. The next on this list is an athlete who made the worst decisions possible. Jamal Lewis. Born on August 29, 1979, Lewis is a professional footballer who served as a running back in the NFL. He spent 10 seasons in the NFL, 7 of those playing for the Baltimore Ravens. He was the 5th overall pick in the 2000 NFL Draft. He is best known for his contribution to his team as a rookie when they won the Super Bowl XXV and for being the youngest player to both play and win a Super Bowl. He signed as a free agent after his time with the Ravens and signed a contract with the Cleveland Browns before the 2007 season. The running back's most outstanding season came in 2003 when he rushed for 2,066 yards and remains the 3rd most all-time rushes. Lewis suffered several financial setbacks as he filed for bankruptcy in April 2010. He listed $14.5 million in assets and $10.6 million in debts. This includes a judgment of more than $350,000 on a loan defaulted from a bank. To make matters worse, the running back took a $600,000 loan from Regions Bank and used the money to buy a 47-foot powerboat. The bank filed a suit against Lewis on October 31, 2011. His situation spiraled to a point where he was forced to sell a championship ring from Super Bowl XXV. This next athlete's addiction to alcohol cost him both his wealth and his health. William Perry. This pro footballer's fall from grace shocked the world, especially his beloved fans. Playing as a defensive tackle in the NFL, William Anthony Perry spent 10 seasons in the sport, primarily with the Chicago Bears. He was also known by his nickname, the Refrigerator, and his career began back in college, where he played for the Clemson Tigers. He was named ACC Player of the Year and was selected by the Bears in the first round of the 1985 NFL Draft. Perry garnered more popularity during his rookie season when he assisted his team in winning the franchise's first Super Bowl title in Super Bowl XX. It's sad to say that he fell on hard times after his retirement. Even though he made millions during his career, he was struck by a series of health issues, including diabetes, alcoholism, and Guillain-Barré syndrome, which affected his life and finances. His situation got so bad that he was forced to sell his championship ring for $20,000. His health continued spiraling, and he was checked into a hospital where he received treatment for diabetes. He eventually moved into a retirement home in 2016 and is living off disability payments from the NFL. Little financial planning and reckless spending can ruin a person, just as it ruined this next athlete. Lawrence Taylor. Next on the list, we have a professional football player nicknamed LT. Lawrence Taylor played as a linebacker in the NFL for 13 seasons, all of which were played with the New York Giants. He is regarded as one of the greatest defensive players of all time. He initially played at the University of North Carolina, where he was named an All-American. Taylor was selected by the New York Giants second overall in the 1981 NFL Draft. He was named NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year in 1981 and the only NFL player to win the AP NFL Defensive Player of the Year award in his rookie season. He played his final game on January 15th, 1994, after which he announced his retirement. "I think it's time for me to retire. I've done everything I can do." His post-NFL life is one that was riddled with excessive spending and little financial planning. His battle with substance abuse began taking a toll on him as he faced a lot of legal issues. These costly legal battles began slowly reducing his wealth. His wealth was also drained by his multiple divorces that came with divorce settlements and alimonies. He filed for bankruptcy in the early 2000s after finding himself facing several debts and financial difficulties. Investing in real estate is a risky business, and this next NFL player has first-hand knowledge of this. Mark Brunell. This next pro NFL player couldn't wait until he was out of the sport before ruining his finances. Mark Brunell played as a quarterback for 19 seasons in the NFL, 9 of which were with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He played college football for the Washington Huskies and was selected by the Green Bay Packers in the 5th round of the 1993 NFL Draft. He was traded after 2 seasons to the expansion Jaguars for their inaugural 1995 season. Brunell assisted the franchise in winning their first winning record, a playoff berth, postseason victories, and AFC Championship game. He also assisted them to reach 4 consecutive playoff runs within their first 5 seasons. His descent from wealth began after losing $11 million when the housing market crashed. He defaulted on several loans because of this, and the downward spiral doesn't end there. He invested an outrageous $9 million in the fast food burger chain Whataburger and ended up losing all the money. In 2010, he filed for bankruptcy while he was still an active NFL player. Paperwork revealed that he owned just $5 million in assets while he was $24.8 million in debt. Brunell's loan issues didn't help matters as he faced 6 lawsuits totaling $24.7 million. It's estimated that he is worth below $500,000, which is a serious decline for someone who made $70 million from the NFL. This next athlete is another victim of being in debt to too many people and having numerous failing business ideas. Damonte Dawson. Born on June 17, 1965, Damonte Farrah Dawson is a former professional football player who spent 13 seasons playing in the NFL. He played as a center and long snapper and played college football with the Kentucky Wildcats. Dawson was selected by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2nd round of the 1988 NFL Draft. He spent his entire pro career with the team and was elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2012. He initially wasn't interested in football due to having a bad experience that occurred while playing in the 9th grade. He was eventually recruited by the school's coach due to his size, and he later received a scholarship to attend the University of Kentucky. Unfortunately, Dawson dug himself a great financial hole as he filed for bankruptcy in 2010. He listed his liabilities as totaling an estimated $69.6 million, while his assets were just above $1.41 million. This came as a result of being in debt to many business partners, primarily in real estate. He said, "Today's real estate market and economic conditions, plus the fact that I own non-controlling minority interests in the entities which own the real estate, left me with limited options," and concluded his statement by saying, "I certainly wish things had turned out differently and look forward to continuing my contributions to this community." Next is a man who invested way too much in one place, and this decision blew up in his face. Deuce McAllister. The Mississippi-born running back is a former professional football player. Dulemus Jennard Deuce McAllister played in the NFL for 8 seasons, all of which were played for the New Orleans Saints. He played college football for the Ole Miss Rebels. The New Orleans Saints selected him in the 1st round of the 2001 NFL Draft. McAllister had an impressive career as he won the Super Bowl championship in Super Bowl X Live. He was also selected to 2 Pro Bowls and was even inducted into the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame. He was considered a fan favorite due to his hard-charging running style and made approximately $70 million from the sport. His career took a sad turn as he tore his left ACL in 2007. This changed his form, and he was eventually cut by the Saints. Unfortunately, he's not on this list because of the money he made, but the money he squandered. His amassed fortune vanished faster than most people expected. He allegedly blew through this fortune in less than 3 years after his retirement. Some people wonder how that's even possible, but a report shows that he made a significant investment in a Nissan car dealership that didn't pay off. McAllister owner eventually filed for bankruptcy protection for the dealership. He reportedly owed Nissan over $6.6 million with $300,000 in interest. Now that's a serious debt. Last but not least is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, Terrell Owens. Last on our list, we've got a wide receiver who played for 15 seasons in the NFL. Terrell Eldorado Owens is considered one of the greatest wide receivers of all time and ranks third in NFL history in career receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. He starred for multiple teams during his 15 years in the NFL, including the San Francisco 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys, Allen Wranglers, and FCF Zappers. He played college football for the Chattanooga Mocs and was selected in the third round of the 1996 NFL Draft by the San Francisco 49ers. He stayed with the team for 7 seasons and was eventually traded to the Philadelphia Eagles in 2004. Owens earned about $67 million in salary alone and approximately $13 million from endorsements. A series of bad financial decisions left him completely broke by 2011. He would later speak on his financial situation and point out some of the major causes of his downfall. First, he asked athletes to live within their means, as purchasing flashy cars and jewelry was an idiotic thing to do. He also advised people not to trust just anybody with their money, as he is just one of many athletes who have suffered under terrible financial advisors and managers. If you enjoyed the video, don't go anywhere. Just click on any of the cards appearing on your screen right now and get even more exciting content. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.